Ready? All right. Well, good evening. How is everybody doing tonight? My name is Mike Turner, and I am the Executive Director of the Rocky Mountain chapter of the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. And I am absolutely thrilled to be back here tonight with everybody in the room and everybody who is watching us online that I'll talk about in a little bit. But thank you so much for being here tonight. Please continue to enjoy your dinner, continue to enjoy the desserts. We're going to get at some thank yous going, and then I will turn it back over to our wonderful MC and auctioneer. So first off, I want to thank everybody who purchased tables tonight and purchased tickets and made it a real attempt to get out and be here. So thank you so much. And this evening would not be possible without our fabulous Gala committee, who many of you know so well, led by Connie Campbell, Bill Elder, and Melanie Adams. And our amazing wine committee, led by Marty Davidson. They've all worked year-round to secure so many of the auction items you are all bid on last year, and some of you won, and to help us put together this amazing evening. So thank you again. I also want to thank all of our volunteers who are sitting in the back, who are helping us with setup, registration, and auction, and the checkout tonight. And we want to thank our amazing sponsors this evening: Roller Auctions, the Cushman-Neal Foundation, American Airlines, Beatrice, and Mountain Chalet. And we also want to say thank you to our generous donors for our live and silent auction items, including Beyond the Blackboard and the Boylan and Killian family, for donating all of the toys for tonight's toy wagon and the auction. And we want to thank Heaven Hill Brands, Miller Coors, and the Sorting Table for stocking those bars. Uh-oh. And of course, we need to thank DJ Shay, who's going to be spinning tunes next door for our after party tonight. I also want to thank our chapter advisory board members. So if you are a chapter advisory board member and you are in the room, will you please stand up? I know many of you are here. And we also want to acknowledge that we have two amazing members of our National Cystic Fibrosis Foundation Board of Trustees, Jennifer Taylor Kauser and Teresa Elder, who are here with us tonight. And next we want to thank and recognize an amazing list of people, and that is all of the prior recipients of the Breath of Life Awards and the Family Gala honorees from 2016. So if your name is on that list and you are a previous award winner, will you all please stand? So tonight, we decided to try something new, and we decided to try to innovate and be a little more encompassing of our entire CF community. And so for the first time, we are actually live streaming our entire program tonight for our CF community who could not be here in person with us. And we would not, thank you. And we would not be able to do that without the support of the Cushman-Neal Foundation. Diane, yes. So Diane Cushman-Neal and Scott Neal have been amazing supporters of our chapter for many years and have pushed us to innovate in ways to be more inclusive and celebratory of the milestones achieved by the CF community. At the Foundation's Volunteer Leadership Conference in March, Diane shared her story, and we would like to share it again with all of you here tonight.
Milestones are something that mark something significant, as we all know, in time. It can be the birth of a child and their birthday. It can be the day you fell in love with your partner. It can be the anniversary of finding the perfect job. And for some people, it can be the anniversary of having new lungs. There's so many different milestones that happen. In my case, I do have nonsense genes, and I know that maybe drugs aren't necessarily being tested right now on my specific permutation. For me, my milestone sitting here is I was given 6 months to live when I lived in San Diego. I've been in Colorado for 30 years since that moment. So I sit before you with my milestone of 30 years of life. I think the doctors didn't realize how long 6 months could really be, but I know I'm celebrating this milestone because of the doctors and the research, and because the foundation worked so hard to bring together every one of you today and to be willing to set this challenge on giving patients more milestones. And this happens through the volunteer work, the research, as well as the dollars to be able to get to this next place. I know that I will have so many more milestones because of Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. Every person in this room and every person that maybe isn't in this room, because we're working every day to make changes and allow me to, and others, to enjoy their lives. I have had an incredible life, and I am so grateful for the life I have. For me, being able to give back to my community, that brings me a lot of joy. I would want to just say thank you for the work that everyone does. This week I turned 54. And to think that every kid that is born now with CF has a good shot at becoming my age, that's a milestone.
So Diane and Scott watching from home, thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us all. So if everybody can turn around and give a wave to the camera and say thank you to everybody. Great to see you. Hope you're well. Now, I am excited to turn things back over to our MC for this evening, Danielle Grant.
Glad you saw those. Can we give it up for Diane again for sharing her story? That video was so beautiful. Thank you, Diane. We're so happy that you're watching tonight from home. You know, we're all here together this evening because we share the same hopes and dreams. We are committed to the mission that every person with cystic fibrosis will have the chance to live a long and healthy life. And we look forward to the day where every person with CF will have the chance to fulfill their dreams, whether that's to run a marathon or to fall in love or to hear their newborn cry. We look forward to the day that we will achieve they will achieve their dreams, their dream career, or grow old with the ones that they love. And those hopes and dreams can be made possible with your continued support. We continue to do the important work in science, in research, care, and support for people with CF, their families, and the community until we can say that CF stands for Cure Found. You know, this past year, we have made some really amazing progress since last year when everyone was together out at the vehicle vault. In April, Trikafta was approved for children ages 2 through 5, allowing kids to be able to start that treatment even earlier. Kalydeco was also approved for infants as young as 1 month. 1 month. That's the earliest possible, highly effective treatment for CF for those who are eligible. Also, at the Volunteer Leadership Conference back in March, the CF Foundation, using their patient registry data, they reported that the median life expectancy for those who are born between 2018 and 2022 is now predicted to be 56 years old. 56 years old. I mean, that's amazing. But really, these results are because of you, each and every person in this room. And we thank you so much for your continued hard work and for, of course, joining us here this evening. There is the 10%, and the modulators really are only good for about 90% of the people with CF. The remainder have rare mutations that the modulators just won't impact. We have hope, however, with new advances in genetic therapies that are on the horizon, but these are going to take time. These are going to take funding as well as research. And while the growth in the adult population is so wonderful to see, it also brings new challenges for those patients whose lungs and other organs have been damaged for years before the modulators were actually available to them. So the incredible scientific community, including so many of you who are here tonight in attendance, they are leading the effort to increase antibiotic research and in funding research in the areas of infection as well as inflammation to make sure these patients, the 10%, aren't left behind. The Cystic Fibrosis Foundation really has made a huge impact for patients since its inception back in 1955, and we know that it will continue to meet those challenges. We are so excited for the day that there will be a cure for each and every person that is living with cystic fibrosis. Tonight, I'm very excited because we have a chance to raise a whole lot of money for the foundation and for everyone that is dealing with cystic fibrosis. I'm excited for our live auction and to introduce you to our fabulous auctioneer tonight, Miss Chelly Canales. No. Give yourselves a big round of applause. That was amazing. That was so much fun seeing your numbers fly around. We're raising so much money for the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation, and we cannot do it without all of you. We're going to turn our attention now to the award portion. Each year, the CF care team at Children's Hospital chooses one pediatric patient to be the recipient of their Superhero Award. This award goes to a patient with CF who, in the face of adversity, shows courage, grace, tenacity, and grit. This patient takes responsibility for his or her own care. They work hard, and they have a positive attitude. Let's watch.
Jacob was born actually in Utica, New York. It seemed like the doctor knew pretty much right away what was wrong with Jacob and that it was more than likely that he had cystic fibrosis. And so it was quite a challenge the first year. He had 5 surgeries that first year. He still was a very, very happy baby, and his smile, and he was a good little baby.
Jacob really went through a lot of things that many people with cystic fibrosis face. He faced problems with breathing, with respiratory infections, and with digestive issues.
I mean, I always had to do treatments. I didn't really know how bad it was until I got in the hospital for the first time, where I started to realize that, yeah, this is important, that I got to keep doing my treatments and keeping my health well. It hurts. Like, I sometimes wish I was the only kid with it so that no one else would have to go through it.
He was certainly engaged and excited about participating in research.
I think empathy, and it's just a part of who he is really being able to understand the impact that he can have in helping other people.
I take Trikafta. That's the big thing that's helped recently, and that's helped significantly boost my lung percentage and lung function. And a lot of this physical activity I do helps keep my lungs more open.
He's really faced some personal challenges and adversities. It was not easy when his father was ill and he lost his father.
Why does this happen to the really good people who do a lot for their kids? He did so much for me.
I will never forget, he said, but it feels this hard because I loved him so much.
I've said to Jacob before, you know, I was like, you're really making your dad proud, and you're honoring him by, you know, being your best self and really taking the things that his dad cared about and living those through. And it's been really, really magical to see.
I'm going to Colorado School of Mines. I'm gonna try to do construction engineering. I can maybe even make it easier for more people to have access to houses, as well as making it cheaper. That's kind of what my big goal was.
Jacob has really worked hard to get into School of Mines, and it's really impressive, you know, that he doesn't let his CF kind of hold him back from doing the things he wants to do.
It's exciting for us to see our patients be able to live normal lives.
Everybody on that team is spectacular from then to now. They've look at him. He's doing great just because of them.
When I think about a superhero, you know, it's not someone who necessarily has had it easy, who has experienced things that could really knock them off their feet, and they have faced those things.
You know, I think to myself, what would it be like to have a normal child? But to me, I wouldn't want a normal child because it wouldn't be my Jake.
I think it'd be so great in the next 20 years to have some newborn child grow up, and then all the problems that a lot of the kids with CF, including me, had in the past, that they could grow up and just be a normal kid.
They're not standing for me. They're standing for you. There's Dr. Frank right here, right in front of us. Thank you, guys. I'm Scott Sagal. I work at Children's Hospital, and I'm speaking on behalf of our care team, and we're here to honor you, Jacob. There are so many, you know, great people that we get the privilege of taking care of, and we get to know them shortly after birth, and we follow them as they grow up. It's a pretty unbelievable thing. I'm not going to say very much. There's something in your program. We just watched an awesome video. But what I will say is that before there was Trikafta in the last few years, Jacob, like so many other, faced a terrible disease. Just awful in terms of the effects on breathing, on digestion. Jacob had faced several intestinal surgeries during his life, and yet he battled these things and did what he needed to take care of himself. As you guys saw, he's at Colorado School of Mines, only the best of the best. All right, Colorado School of Mines. I'm going to leave it there and say thank you guys for all that you do for our CF community, for our patients and our families. Thank you to the elders to help sponsor this award. And yes, thank you. Jacob, we're going to give Jacob a round of applause again. Thank you. You can say thank you.
Yeah, I also want to say thank you. I think this is a very special event, and thank you to the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation and the support team and all of you guys for giving support to CF. I haven't gotten to see a whole lot of it because with CF kids, you always have to be spread apart, and so you don't really get to see much people with cystic fibrosis. So it's hard to see the behind the scenes, like the support and everything for that. And I think this is truly amazing, special event to just see so many people get together to raise money for cystic fibrosis. Thank you so much.
Doctor, you two right here, photographer's right there.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Jacob.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Jacob, for your just being here and your awesome self and your story. And Dr. Siegel, thank you. And
Yeah, we're not done yet. Keep those bitter numbers high. I see you guys over there. People are coming for you. Thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts, really, from opening up your hearts, for opening up your wallets, for just being so generous tonight. Let's give everyone an amazing round of applause. Tonight, I would like to welcome to the stage Sarah Brayshaw. She is going to introduce our 2023 Breath of Life Award recipient, Dr. Jerry Nick.
Well, hi. Woo. My name is Sarah. I'm here representing the Adult CF Care Center. There are a lot of us here tonight. Both folks from the inpatient and the outpatient. If you all could stand up to show yourself how many people are here to honor our Care Center Director. We are all here because we are so happy and proud that our director, Dr. Jerry Nick, is receiving this Breath of Life Award tonight. We all love you, and we are so happy to be here for you. Now, we would love to show this video that highlights some of your achievements, and the thing I want to emphasize the most is this is not your retirement video, Jerry. This is just the first half of your achievements. Congratulations from all of us.
He's kind, he's generous, he's unselfish, he's very dedicated, motivated, and he's incredibly smart.
So I went to medical school at the University of Washington in Seattle and did my pulmonary and critical care fellowship here at the University of Colorado and at National Jewish. And then I stayed on at National Jewish because I wanted to do research involving inflammation. But then I heard just coincidentally that the CF program needed a physician. I came and I liked the patients, I liked the team, and the disease was fascinating from a scientific standpoint.
Jerry is somebody who cares a lot. He's also incredibly funny in a very deadpan way, and he really is exceptional at thinking about the big picture. So for example, right now we have the largest adult CF program in the country, and that's not by accident.
He's got this really special way of breaking up the heaviness that comes with this disease.
He has had the vision to build a center that is impacting the lives of not just people in Colorado, but people all across the United States. And beyond that, he's doing research that impacts people around the world.
Another thing the group may not know is, how much of an international leader Jerry is in the treatment of non-tuberculous mycobacteria. And in fact, the diagnostic and treatment approaches that are being studied in these clinical trials are being implemented across the globe. And Jerry's been a leader in this.
That's where Dr. Nick's kind of brilliance comes in. He's like, let's try this. And then we try it and it's there. Somehow he knows what we're doing before we're doing it.
And then most recently, he has been pivotal in the study of this novel treatment called bacteriophage.
We've been extraordinarily lucky here at National Jewish to keep a team together all these years with very little turnover, especially in our nurses, and have ability to provide continuity of care.
He never was too busy to sit down and share a joke or tell a story or offer a kind word. And I think that that resonates with people, and it makes you feel that you have a family away from your family, and that you are growing up within something that, you know, leads to a greater good.
He has done so much for this community, this team, his patients, and all of us in big and little ways for years. I think he doesn't even know the impact he's made on all of our careers.
We are one of the top programs in the country because of this great partnership between a pediatric program and an adult program. He has totally built this awesome team around him.
The way he leads is a really testament to why so many people on our team have stayed so long.
He will occasionally make a big declaration that he is going to have the oldest, grayest, biggest adult CF clinic on the planet. And then he will just go on his way and make it happen. I don't think anybody can really outwork this team of Dr. Nix. They are the most dedicated and fun-loving group.
They'll just drop a line or a joke into a conversation and you're just like, oh my gosh. Then you walk away and you start laughing and you think about it for the rest of the day.
Every conference I've ever been to, you say his name and somebody will try to do an impression of Dr. Jerry Nick. Most of his patients do an impression of Dr. Jerry Nick.
There's compassion that feels like pity, and there's compassion that makes you feel like a human, and his humor is compassion that makes me feel human, like a whole human that doesn't just consist of a disease.
Just yesterday in clinic, Dr. Nick and I walked into a patient's room and she looked at Dr. Nick, and she's retiring this December, and she said, Dr. Nick saved my life. And she couldn't have said that 10 years ago.
This team means everything to me. The biggest gift of my whole life is being with this team.
I wouldn't be where I was today if it wasn't for Jerry. The patients wouldn't be where they were. And I mean, he just is really the epitome of somebody who deserves this award. He's dedicated his whole life and career to these patients and to this cause, and it's really amazing.
So it is with great pleasure that we present the 2023 Breath of Life Award to Dr. Jerry Nick. If you want to put it back in there.
Well, thanks so much. Thank you, Mike, for the award, and thanks, Sarah, for the very kind introduction. And also thank you, Becky, for putting together that video, and everyone that participated in it. It really is a little overwhelming just hearing all the very kind words. And congratulations to the Rocky Mountain chapter for, again, putting together just a really, really good gala year after year. It's and of course, thanks to everyone that came today to help advance CF care and research. I wanted to take just a minute to reflect on the progress that's been made in CF and the role of the CF Foundation, the Colorado CF program, and then the adult program at National Jewish Health. I started in CF 26 years ago, just a week after finishing my pulmonary critical care fellowship, and almost by chance I found myself in the clinic with no background or experience at all in the disease. But honestly, it wasn't that hard because we only had one medication and we gave it to everybody. So in 1997, our medication was Pulmozyme, and we treasured it, even though it had barely shown an effect in clinical trials. It was a very important drug because it proved that the CF community could come together and could develop a medication specific for cystic fibrosis. Back then, the life expectancy was about 29 years, and everybody understood that we needed more medications and we needed better medications. But there was always a lot of optimism within the CF community because we could see, even without effective treatments, we could see an annual increase in survival year after year. And the reason for this was the care centers. So almost from the very start, CF Care has been organized into care centers where there's expertise and experience within the team, a multidisciplinary team. So our patients can come and they can see the doctor and they can see the nurse, but they can see a respiratory therapist and a dietitian and a social worker, and nowadays an endocrinologist and a psychologist and a mental health coordinator and even a research coordinator. And it was the CF Foundation, an organization started by parents, that really put these centers together and organized the care center network across the United States, accredits these centers, but more importantly, supports these centers financially with funds that are raised in, great strides and bike rides and the Gala tonight. So not surprisingly, the Colorado Center was one of the first in the United States, and it grew to prominence under the direction of Dr. Frank Accurso and now Scott Sagal. Frank fought for newborn screening and led to Colorado being the first state in the United States with mandatory newborn screening, and this really gives the kids an advantage with earlier detection. Frank was a champion of clinical research and did really important successful trials in nutrition, inhaled antibiotics, biomarker identification, and the CFTR modulator drugs. By the early 1990s, it was evident we needed separate adult programs because of the real advancement and the survival rate. Almost from the very start, the Colorado adult program was located at National Jewish Health, and we quickly became the largest in the United States and maybe the largest in the world. And the one thing that's really always set us apart is our nurses. We are truly a nurse-run, managed program, and they manage us with experience and knowledge and good humor and common sense, starting with Marion Jones, Connie St. Clair, Sarah Brayshaw, Kathy Chacon, Sarah Ellington, Emily Armand-Trout, Haley Hines, and Jackie McDowell. Our patients often tell us that they really don't care what doctor they see as long as the nurses are there, and they're always there. And we've had great doctors too, but I just want to acknowledge the co-directors of the program, Dr. Mimi Saavedra and Dr. Jennifer Taylor-Kauser. For their extraordinary skill and passion. By 2014, we had outgrown the number of beds available at Colorado Hospital and moved the inpatient service to St. Joseph Hospital, and this has been an outstanding partnership. And I want to thank the National Jewish Hospital Service under the direction of Dr. Carrie Horn. They provide outstanding care, and they put up with so many unusual requests from our team. And I want to thank Esther Villarreal and the team at the Respiratory Institute. Esther's been our constant advocate and champion throughout. So because National Jewish was a hospital founded on the treatment of mycobacterial disease, it was natural that the CF community looks to us for guidance in the treatment of non-tuberculous mycobacteria. And about a decade ago, in collaboration with Dr. Stacy Martiniano in Children's Hospital, we organized the NTM Consortium, which has now grown to 20 programs across the country, and it allows for us to do clinical trials in this very difficult disease. We've always had a reputation as a program that's maybe an early adopter of new therapies and maybe a little more intensive in our approach. And so this came together in 2020 with the first successful treatment of Mycobacterium abscessus lung disease with bacteriophage. Phage are viruses that kill only bacteria, and they're increasingly being turned to as a last resort when traditional antibiotics fail. And I want to acknowledge Jared Johnson. Jared was our first patient to receive phage, and he had incredible courage and patience over a year and a half of treatment. And although the phage treatment was successful, unfortunately, Jared passed last Christmas due to complications of his lung transplant. But his case has been widely reported and is now the blueprint for a new phage trial that's starting in December. So there's been steady new medicines coming, and with each new medicine, we've seen a steady improvement in the expected survival. And then finally in 2019, we got Trikafta, the CFTR modulator drug that's been simply remarkable. It's been cited maybe as one of the most effective medicines ever developed, and it's so effective that many of our patients have been able to gradually stop their other treatments and are still doing well. The life expectancy now is well over 50 years, and for children that are born today, it will be much longer. So in 2023, we weirdly come full circle, and sometimes in clinic, it seems like once again, we just have one medicine. But unlike back in the day, not everyone gets the medicine. Not everyone has a genotype that responds to Trikafta, and not everyone can access it, not everyone can tolerate it. So there's new trials underway that are looking now at the molecular target of the disease, and if successful, these could potentially cure the disease and not depend on any single genotype for their efficacy. So in all the excitement of new drugs, I just want to assure you that the CF Foundation will continue to support the care teams and the care centers, and that on behalf of the adult program at National Jewish, I'm very happy to accept this award, very humble to do so as well. And on a personal note, I want to thank my wife Jennifer, my daughter Sarah and Sophie, and my in-laws Sue and Roger Smith. Thank you very much.
Congratulations again, Dr. Nick, and for everything that you and your team have done. This has been a tremendous evening, you guys. I have had so much fun being a part of it. Thank you for letting me spend the evening with you. Together, you are all helping carry forth the powerful momentum that was first generated back in 1955 by a group of parents determined to save their children's lives. I know that everyone in this room continues to be inspired by that mission toward a cure so that we can say CF stands for Cure Found. Tonight, if you have purchased anything, you've luckily won something for our silent or live auctions, or perhaps for the bid for a cure, you're actually going to get an email in your inbox. You can finish paying on your phones if you'd like, but we also have a checkout area in the lobby. Please stay throughout the rest of this evening. Enjoy the music. We have some yummy late night snacks, I am told. Some dancing, perhaps, if we want to get wild. Thank you again from the bottom of our hearts for being here, for helping us raise so much money for the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. Enjoy the rest of your night, and we'll hope to see you next year.